Matrix on the screen, healthcare in between. Physics, art, and math got us down this path. Historical tales come alive, where science and stories dive. Blended facts with heart, knowledge from the start. Need bridge blues we sing to the future memory. Health and science in the mix. Matrix got the fix. Complex subjects make
right
clear
now
every episode
in ways that we actually acquire these
leads the way.
and ways that make me more efficient.
In the world of digital streams, turning knowledge into dreams. Through the tales of old, new stories unfold.
Thank you so much for joining with me. It is truly an honor and a privilege.
MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges.
Hey, welcome to the MedBix Webcast. This is Ramana and I'm Raju. I'm the host. Let me turn off the music. Sorry. Yes, welcome to the MedBix Webcast. You know, we had a great month of May. A very distinguished guest we had, and different, varied, diverse thinking is truly stood up in the month of May. That I posted something about that, and then you go back and look at it and see what I was talking about, all the diversity in thinking aloud. So that's my tagline, diversity in thinking aloud. It's my tagline. Welcome to the MedBix. We have a very interesting guest today with a close friend of mine for a long time. But I wanted to show you something about the turmeric. Turmeric is an Indian food supplement, food ingredient. We all, Indians are extremely familiar with turmeric. We're going to talk about the benefits of turmeric. I wanted to talk about a little bit of, let me bring that thing to there. I want to show that. That's my mother, okay? My mother used to do, actually, we don't have turmeric powder, as you know, nowadays. Turmeric roots is the root, is the root that looks like that. My mother used to get those roots and then put in the food, and sometimes, every once a month, she does put on her face. She put a little oil and put on her face, and she glows. She's a beautiful, graceful woman. She was extraordinarily, graceful, radiant. I used to ask my mom, all of a sudden you became, so I put this turmeric, she used to say. But we are vegetarians, we don't eat chicken, but she used to put in a lot of food in vegetarian food. But, American standard food now is a chicken tikka masala, everybody knows. That's one of the ingredients is the turmeric. So my friend from Connecticut, is a Sudhir Chainani. He's a good friend of mine for a long time. We are close friends. He is passionate about this turmeric innovations. He started a company called Turmeric Innovations. I tell you, I was reading it. The turmeric is just a lot of hype of real. I saw that the research is done in the academic institutions, the peer-reviewed studies. University of California, Davis. There's a randomized. They did a randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled study. They did that. University of North Carolina, University of Sherbrooke near Montreal, Canada, where I went to school. University of Pennsylvania and University of California, Los Angeles, and National University of South Korea. They did quite a bit of research in King Abdullah University in Saudi Arabia. All these universities did quite a bit of research on the turmeric, the effects of turmeric in the body. So we will ask him. It is an amazing effect in a lot of those things. It is coming out. What a miracle supplement it is. So let me bring my good friend Sudhir Chainani. I'm gonna bring him just a minute, and he knows the turmeric product in and out. So he is a software guy. He's a startup founder, and then he is innovator, and he travels quite a bit. He's a global in healthcare. So he's really welcome. Let me welcome Sudhir. Welcome to Medmix Cast.
Thank you, Ramana. Glad to be here. And let me introduce Cristina Spatora. Cristina is a psychotherapist and my partner in the venture. Um, and we've now started growing this company. It's going nationwide and international as well. So yeah, thank you for bringing us on the show.
I wanted to say this one. Cristina Spatora is one of the initial guests for me. She was a great supporter of me. She's been, unrelenting supporter of MedBreaks. Thank you, Cristina. You're a savior for us. So I want to focus a little bit on turmeric today. We'll come back to the mental health in a minute. She's a psychotherapist, so we'll talk about that a little bit. So I wanted to focus on turmeric today. Tell us a little bit about your journey up to this point. Why did you select this turmeric as an ingredient, and you wanted to as a company you did that? Just tell us a little bit of your journey up to this point.
Thank you, Ramana. So for everyone here, turmeric really is a root. It's from the same family of ginger. It's like it grows underground. It's a ginger. The plant is from the ginger family. The key ingredient in turmeric is curcumin. That's the one that is what's called a polyphenol. A polyphenol, they're organic compounds that give you antioxidant activity at the cellular level in human beings. There are many types of polyphenols, but the curcumin is one of the strongest.
Steve, before I interrupt you, I want to ask you a little bit of history of turmeric in India, where it came from. A little bit, can you give some historical background for this, if you don't mind?
Yeah, turmeric has been used in India for, some say, 5,000 years, and others say as far as when Lord Krishna ruled the Indian subcontinent. And that was 35,000 years back in Dwarka. In fact, that city has also been excavated by Indian and British scientists off the coast of Gujarat. That is carbon dated to 35,000 years back. And there's some evidence that they were using curcumin even in those days. It was a holy Hindu holy herb. It's colored as saffron, which is also the color of Hinduism. And so it has a long historical context in terms of its medicinal properties. And it was so good that they would put it in food. It became a preservative for food. It also became a taste enhancer, flavors. It also gives you color, the orange color, which was a natural color to dye your fabric in the old days. So it was really a miracle plant that had so many uses going back 35,000 years in India. And from India, it was exported to other countries, including Thailand, China, Malaysia. The whole rest of the world gets turmeric originally from India. India still produces 80% of the world's turmeric. And India also produces about 70% of the world's spices, even today. So there's a long history, and it's been studied widely in Ayurvedic medicine. So Ayurvedic medicine comes from the Vedas, the Hindu holy scripture books, 1,026 volumes. One of them is about Ayurveda, which means the science of life. And turmeric is one of the key therapies, if I may call it, in Ayurveda. And so we actually find that the use of turmeric migrated from medicinal and therapeutic uses to food. And so it's a central part of any Indian cooking.
How did it come to the United States, where it became so popular in the United States? They're talking about, a lot of doctors talk about turmeric, a lot of shows talk about turmeric. Tell us a little bit of that history, a little bit, why it became so powerful in this, it became a very big talk in this country.
So turmeric really was brought to the U.S. by the Indian immigrants mostly. I mean, even in the early 1980s, nobody knew what turmeric was. In the 1990s, some few people knew what it was, but it was a key ingredient of Indian curry. Curries, turmeric is the central ingredient, and only in Indian curries do they know how to do it right. With them, they boil it. It's cooked in different oils like mustard oil, etc., so that it dissolves. Because turmeric doesn't dissolve in water; it only dissolves in oil. And when you sprinkle it on food, it's not going to do much. It's just not going to be absorbed in your body. So in Indian cooking, it's used in a way that gives it a higher bioavailability. The higher bioavailability is coming from its combination with black pepper, mustard oil, and all the techniques of cooking Indian food, which involve high heat and the addition of other spices, which again enhances the bioavailability of the curcumin that's in the turmeric.
So let me ask you, the curcumin, that's the absorption is the biggest challenge that you was just talking about it. So talk about a little bit of absorption. How did that is the biggest, you started a company called Turmeric Innovations. You started that. Tell us a little bit about that, why you started the company, because of the bioavailability, absorption, you want to make it bigger, quantity, or tell us of that journey up to this.
Thank you, Ramana. I've always been about innovation. Everything I do, every venture I've done about 10 ventures over the last 30 years. Some exited successfully, some not. But this one particularly excited me because I met the genius that had the patents on this new technology. And together we founded a new business out of it. And we had to find the applications, and we had to do the science, we had to do studies, clinical analysis, formulations, shelf stability studies, bioavailability studies. We had a lot of work to do before we could actually get it to a product. And it particularly excited me because I'm being an engineer myself, and one that has always been focused on innovation and doing things differently and take science forward. Even though this had nothing to do with electrical engineering, it was very fascinating, the science and the chemistry behind this whole new line of products. So that's why I got involved with it, and I founded this new company called Turmeric Innovations, Inc. in 2021 to bring these products to the mass, to bring this high absorption technology that we have, which is anywhere from 10 to 1,000 times more absorbed than any other product currently in the market. And we have clinical data on that.
I put your website there, turmericinnovations.com. Is that right? So if you can see it, turmericinnovations.com, right?
Yes.
So let me, Cristina, what is your experience with the turmeric so far? If you can run down you as a Western woman grown up in New York City. Cristina is a psychotherapist, a very well celebrated psychotherapist. She's a scientist. Oh my God, she is an amazing speaker. Cristina, tell us a little bit about your journey with Steve about the turmeric side of it.
So I will tell you about my journey, which is a very personal one. Because in addition to being a psychotherapist, I'm actually someone who suffers from metabolic illness. I have diabetes, I have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune condition where my body is attacking my thyroid. So as you know, with all of these things and the medications that are out there, there's so many side effects and you can't necessarily even cure the problem. I made the acquaintance of Steve Chainani and his Turmeric Innovations. And to say that it has been a game changer for my health is to put it mildly. The minute I started taking it, I noticed my blood sugars were better. I was getting less inflammation. My Hashimoto's improved. Just my entire metabolic picture improved much more than when I was on medication. So obviously, everybody's got to follow their own counsel, their own doctor's advice. But for me, it was like a miracle spice that came along just when I needed it. I lost both my parents early because of diabetes and other metabolic illnesses. This is how I got the diabetes because it's very strong in my family line. So to find something that could help me and that I know helps others is just amazing. So to be honest with you, I didn't know a lot about turmeric before this. I'd heard of the turmeric spice. I'd eaten Indian food with curcumin in it, but I never realized the medicinal value until I started taking this product. And then I also, as a comparison, tried other turmeric products, and with the other ones, because I couldn't get the absorption, saw no difference. The only one I saw a difference with was when I was taking the lozenges.
I wanted to ask you about that. How did you achieve that absorption, Steve? If you can do a little bit of chemistry for us.
So basically, since turmeric doesn't dissolve in water, it's very hard to absorb in your gut. Because it'll only it'll dissolve in oil, but it's not going to dissolve in water. So the first step was we had to make it water soluble. So far, nobody in the world has achieved that. They can say they've hydrolyzed it. There's a brand out there that claims that their product is hydrolyzed. They powder it into a small powder and they put it in a liquid. So it's an emulsion. So that improves the absorption quite a bit. But it doesn't get anywhere close to the absorption we get because ours is actually fully water soluble. So the first step was to figure out how to make it water soluble. That's a patented process. We have 2 patents on the technology. One patent is how we make it more soluble. The second is how we do the delivery through a soft lozenge. The 2 combined end up with an absorption that gives us, according to this study, this is a study of studies. I'm just going to put it here so people can see it. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, you can't see that much, but tell us a little bit about that.
Basically, according to the University of Michigan, they studied the Sabinsa turmeric, Sabinsa is an ingredient supplier. They're a very good company. They supply lots of very high quality ingredients to the supplement industry. We are 450 times more bioavailable than their turmeric.
Oh, this is a study on your product they did. Okay.
Yeah. This is an independent study done for us using the data that was generated by University of Michigan on a big study. Then there was another one done by UCLA in California. And the UCLA study did also use the Sabinsa product, but they did 4 grams of their product per day for 24 weeks. And when you compare our bioavailability with theirs, the study, which was an independently done study, we are 1,035 times more absorbable. You would have to take.
That's an amazing achievement, actually. So,
and I'll give you one more. I can give you MD Anderson in Texas, the medical school. They do 8 grams per day. And in their analysis, we come up 370 times more absorbable than the standard product that the whole industry uses, which is similar to the product that's the ingredients that Sabinsa provides. And Sabinsa, as I want to say, is a very good company. We have a high respect for it, but they provide the standard product. So looking at all the different studies, we are so much more absorbable, which is the reason people get the benefit. Anybody who takes it is immediately convert.
Steve, Ayurveda is like food as a medicine, right, for in Indian culture. So tell us a little bit about that aspect of it, and then how the turmeric plays in that aspect.
Well, turmeric is an invention of Ayurveda. I mean, the Ayurvedic scientists discovered turmeric. We didn't discover it. We cannot take any claim to that. We only found a way to make it more bioavailable. That's what we've done. But the real genius is the people who invented this thousands of years back and put this into the Hindu in the Indian school of medicine, which is called Ayurveda. So that is really the genesis for this invention. And Ayurveda, we really have to thank Ayurveda for most of our natural cures, whether it's yoga, that comes from Ayurvedic school as well, whether it's ashwagandha, turmeric, and pretty much almost everything you'll find on the shelf. Most of the things, I shouldn't say everything, but most of the things you'll find on the shelf in a health food store are really rooted in Ayurveda. And it's the oldest school of medicine in the world. And it started in North India. Nobody knows exactly where it started, but we have some idea as to who the initial authors were of some of the books. There were different rishis and maharishis and Hindu sages up in the Himalaya mountains that were finding cures for ailments and studying different herbs. So we put a lot of the herbs. We're not just turmeric. Our solutions encompass Gymnema sylvestri, holy basil, which is a Himalayan version of basil. We also use bacopa, which is also some people call brahmi. And we're using a range of ingredients to ameliorate conditions caused by inflammation. Most disease comes from chronic inflammation, including cancer. When your body has chronic inflammation, the cells mutate and they become cancerous. And then they grow uncontrollably and they block blood supply to organs. And that's how a person dies. So, turmeric innovations is really all about bringing to the public in an easy to use format at an affordable price point these inventions, I should say, that were done by these Ayurvedic sages. We have just made them more absorbable and easy to use. And the hard science that we have to do on our side is to source the raw material right from the farms. So we get our own fresh raw material. We process raw material. Some of it comes from the Himalaya mountains. Some of them come from the Sahyadri mountains in central India. Some of them come from Sikkim, which is in northern Indian state. We bring the fresh ingredients. We actually process it ourselves and make them into soluble and bioavailable versions and concentrated versions with an easy to use lozenge format that you just leave in your mouth. It tastes delicious. You let it dissolve for 10 or 20 minutes. It goes straight into your blood. You don't want it to go to the stomach. Anything going into your stomach, 98% of it is destroyed by stomach acid. And that's the key innovation, because again, no other supplement products that to our knowledge absorb through the mouth, oral cavity, sublingually, and buccal cavity. We also make all our products to US FDA pharmaceutical standards. So it's all pure. There's no heavy metals. There's no arsenic. We can 100% guarantee that. Every batch is tested. There's a chemical assay. So we take this Ayurvedic science and we bring it into the modern world. That's what we do.
Christina, you're truly a health professional. So take up, I just studied a little bit about is actually can reduce the progression of Alzheimer's. You're a mental health professional. Is it helpful to the mental health, turmeric?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When I started getting involved in this, I was doing my own research, and they do have studies that turmeric actually helps calm people. So like, for instance, if you're dealing with anxiety, which honestly, a lot of my clients are, especially what's going on right now, a lot of people are very anxious. So turmeric does have a calming effect. And then what's also interesting, the turmeric, when they've combined it with the bacopa, the brahmi, in a product called Memory Rockets. So even though that is targeted towards Alzheimer's, I find it can also be helpful if you have ADHD, and because bacopa does increase your mental alertness. Yeah. Now, again, not a medical doctor, and I'm not saying don't see your medical professionals, but it does have an impact on blood chemistry. It does have an impact on the brain in a very positive way. In fact, just the other day, we were talking to the brilliant scientist that makes all these products. And what I appreciate, he's not only this genius person, but he also really cares about what he's doing. And what he likes about this particular turmeric and all these other things is that they're safe. He's doing it in a very safe way. So you're taking something that not only will help your body, help your mind, but it will not hurt you. So many medicines have so many side effects that sometimes the cure is worse than, what you have.
I'm going to ask you a little bit outside of turmeric thing. People are around the world facing a mental health crisis.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
what
Yes.
this was not before. Is that what role the food actually, for the food we are taking, is playing this role in a mental health situation? As a healthcare, a psychotherapist, you see a lot of patients. So let us talk about that a little bit, about that, if you don't mind.
I mean, I think I can't speak to precisely what's in the food, but I can say the things that are harmful. When you're anxious, people are eating perhaps things that are comfort foods, that are very sugary and carby, and that's not healthy for the body. It creates a lot of inflammation. So if you have other issues, it's just going to make it worse. So stress eating, and going for the tasty treats that, while very tasty, are poisonous to the body. Not to mention, a lot of people are dealing with economic insecurity. So you're going to buy stuff that's cheap, that you think you're saving money, but the things you're buying are actually not healthy for you because it's quick, it's processed, it's all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to, you're you're making a healthy Maha, making America healthy again. These two people, okay?
We're trying.
Chainani and
Physical, I'm doing the
Cristina
mental.
Spatora. Yeah, that is Steve. That's my mother. That is Steve. And that is Sudhir Chainani and Cristina Spatora, very good friends of mine. I'm going to bring them on the side. Let me bring the side. We can,
Thank
so Steve is an engineer also. He knows a lot of physics and engineering. You can jump in anything. I'm going to talk about that little bit of cowboy physics. How the cowboy physics revolutionized the saving lives. you know, Actually, Robert Wilson was born in a frontier Wyoming. He's a true cowboy. He was bison. He was a cattle field. He was running. For his father is an alcoholic. He was beating him up all the times. He was moving place to place. He stayed with his aunt for a while. So grew up in a cattle field farms actually. So he was a true cowboy. He was born in 1914. Robert Wilson. Then he went, but he's the smartest guy. He has a lot of ideas about his studies. He worked very hard, so he got the PhD from physics in the University of California that they are talking about research. They did turmeric, same place, University of California, Berkeley. That's what he studied his PhD. That's where he met Ernest Lawrence and Oppenheimer. They were building this cyclotron. I will explain, a particle accelerator, where you take atomic particles like protons, electrons, move them faster, faster, faster. That's what they're trying to do. Move them. I tell you why they want to accelerate these particles. That's why it is called particle accelerator. They were building a particle accelerator. Robert Wilson was the part of that. Oppenheimer, the Ernest Lawrence. I went to the Ernest Lawrence laboratory. I did not go inside. They wouldn't let you. There's a very secretive place. But outside, I got a picture there, right there. Is a Livermore, right here, not that far. That's where these guys did a tremendous amount of research. So, what is this particle accelerator? Particle accelerator is actually is a cyclotron, is a kind of a particle accelerator. I show you just a small 1-minute video of that. I'm going to bring it to you. That video, just quickly, a toy version of that is not really. I don't, to understand, make it understandable.
飞碟起飞会不会？飞碟起飞会不会停站？
Those are actually, yeah. That is the accelerator.
飞碟起
You
飞
want to see
会
one more
不
time?
会
I'm
停
going to
站
show？you. I think particle like this. That is the cyclotron toy version, but that is an amazing. What they do is, yeah. Let me. Why this? Yeah. I'm going to, yeah. Okay. That is a cyclotron. Cyclotron means cycle, it move around, adding more and more energy. It goes faster and faster. That is the CERN hadron collider in Sweden. That is the biggest cyclotron. We have Fermi Labs is another cyclotron. Is a one that moves the particles instead of balls. There, actually particles will move faster and faster. To move the protons, so Robert Wilson came up with a genius idea. He said that how can a cowboy came up with a genius idea? How do you use these protons, these particles, the protons? How do I use them to destroy the cancer, to kill the cancer cells? He came up with a genius idea. Okay, so why protons? Protons are the particles in the nucleus, right? They are protons and neutrons are in the nucleus.
Absolutely.
Electrons are in the orbits around it. So what he was saying that is, you take those protons and put in the cyclotron and hit the tumor with that speed. That's what he's talking about. So Robert Wilson he became a founder of, the reason he wanted to use the protons have a unique ability. What it is, mostly if you use a regular radiation like a gamma rays or electron beam therapy, in fact the problem with that is they destroy, not only they kill the cancer cells, they also kill the good cells, normal cells. That's a bigger problem. They couldn't find, that's the reason a lot of people get sick. So radiation therapy, in the part of the radiation therapy, protons are heavy particles. So what they do is, there is a unique property for protons. If the way you adjust it, it can stop there and release all the energy at the target place, at the targeted place, at the cancer cells. So it can destroy all the cancer cells and stops, the less intensity goes outside after that. So normal cells can be saved through this process. So proton therapy, protons have a unique capabilities, is that it came from a physics, actually. This idea of physics came from, is called, William and Henry Bax, their father and son team, they discovered this special property of the protons. What they do is, the protons have an amazing property. When you stop them, it stop there and then releases all the energy at the end where you stop them. So you say, for example, I can give you an example of that. If you're going fast and if you put a sudden brake, if you see stop sign and you put a sudden brake, what happens? Your car, the back end goes up a little bit. The reason is, you have a kinetic energy is transforming into mechanical, is shifting up, moving up the car. So the kinetic energy is translated to the energy deposit there on the car. Same thing with the cancer cells. You can do that. It's called a Bragg peak. So you can adjust. You can adjust to the cancer where the tumor is. You can put that proton therapy there. It can destroy the cancer, and it releases all the energy there and destroy the cancer cells, and it leaves the good cells alone. That is called a Bragg peak, a special feature of the proton. They found out in these two. They won the Nobel Prize for that. So so that Robert Wilson is a physicist. So he built a Fermi lab in Chicago. He became a founding director for a cyclotron, one of the largest. That is the only largest cyclotron in the United States. Huge cyclotron. He built it. And then because of him, we have so many radioisotopes. Nuclear medicine came in the picture because of him. Is a Fermi lab is in the outskirts of Chicago, or near Oak Brook. So the near outskirts of Chicago, that is Fermi labs. In the Fermi lab, they invented a lot of things. Enrico Fermi is an Italian physicist. They honored him there. He was a very religious guy, came from a Midwest. So he went to France and he saw these cathedral, Catholic cathedrals, and then he wanted to simulate that, and then he built along that lines, that building, Fermi lab buildings. So he's a very, very, very enterprising guy. He was a cattle farmer, right? So what he did was, huge Fermi grounds. He bought a lot of bison move around there in the Fermi grounds. He loved that his background. He bought it. Is a so father of a proton therapy. They call him father of proton therapy. Photons. They're using protons, not photons. Protons. Protons are heavy particles. They are in the nucleus. He takes those particles, move them around, hit the cancer cells with that one. This is called a proton therapy. Very expensive therapy, but still the equipment that you need to manage that. So that is a huge, humongous, that little sucker. To control that little sucker, you need a humongous equipment. I won't tell you how that built. That equipment, it has a weight of almost Boeing 737, 220 tons. 21 miles of cables inside in that equipment, proton therapy equipment. 12 feet thick concrete walls. Because you see that ball always shaking? Think about that. You're going the speed of light almost. If you put the protons there, the amount of energy released is unbelievable. 12 feet thick and 300 piers standing in this one, the proton therapy equipment is a humongous construction, actually. So we don't have too many. Proton therapy is a now how they stop it. Remember I was telling you where the protons you speed them up and that cyclotron and make it almost closer to the speed of light and then hit that cancer cells with the protons. How do you stop? Where is the cancer cell? How do you stop? It's a simple mechanism. It's not a rocket science. They put a water tank there, and then they adjust the water tank where the last stage is, the last stage of protons, in fact. So they move that water tank, say where exactly the tumor is, and then it stops there and releases all its kinetic energy and destroys the cancer cells. It's an amazing physics. This is, if you think about that. So, so he's a particle therapy cooperative group, actually is there. He's a father of a proton therapy. We have 40 centers in the United States. India has two proton therapy centers. Africa is a one. In South Africa is a one. My friend actually he was on my show podcast. Nick from South Africa, he was there on my podcast. They used to manufacture proton therapy equipment. So there are in America, China is a 9, India has a 2, Apollo has a 1, another one is in Delhi. So Apollo Chennai and Apollo in one in Delhi. So you don't have too many particle therapy. There's a proton therapy. It's a special certain cancers that particularly childhood cancer, leukemia, those kind of things. Some of the cancers, the proton therapy is a really good one to have. That's so they, universe, all these stars. We are all made up of electrons, protons, neutrons, all of the particles. We are collection of particles. Our life is a collection of particles. So universe created a life from the collection of particles, and we acquire diseases. We acquire diseases by abusing our systems. But universe have all the laws for life and diseases hidden, and our job is to find solutions through discovery. That's what the Robert Wilson found, a discovery through protons that you can use to kill the cancer cells. Thank you for watching. Let me bring my friends back, and you can say something about it. So Steve, all physics.
So this is great. This is actually quantum physics, which is it's all based on the Niels Bohr atom model.
Yeah, atom model.
Actually predicts the energy of the orbitals. The electrons are in different orbitals, and based on the orientation of the electron, you'll get energy, different types of energy, different types of radiation emitted, and also different characteristics of the electromagnetic radiation. So you can use it to different resonant frequencies to kill certain types of cancer cells. So I mean, that is fascinating. I did study the Niels Bohr atom model and did a lot of quantum physics as part of my engineering. So I thank you. That was really fascinating to see that.
Yeah, that very interesting discussion, the cyclotron and all of that. I mean, thank you for a very educational evening.
And the cyclotron core principle is that of an electric motor. basically.
It's the electric motor, yeah.
You have electric field, and the field is
Magnets control that speed. It's like they used to have a linear accelerator, or you go straight, the straight in one line, but you have to have 25 miles, 30 miles. Now, if you make it as a circular, is a much faster, and you can make it keep on going. Every round it goes, it gains energy and goes faster and faster and faster. That's what it does. So cyclotron. So, but we don't want to get a cancer. That's why we need turmeric, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So we have lots of data that our turmeric shrinks tumors. Lots and lots of data. In fact, the National Institute of Health has it on their website how cancer can be beaten. All forms of cancer, almost every form of cancer can be beaten with turmeric. The problem is they have not figured out how to get concentration in the blood high enough that you can get that benefit. That's what we have solved.
Yes.
Because we have we have data that at 6 lozenges a day, brain tumors shrink. In fact, a study was done, and I cannot get detail into that, but there was a study actually done that proved that 119 subjects were actually, when they went into remission with brain cancer. So we know this works, and we know the NIH works. We cannot make any claims, obviously, without going through this phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 studies.
A few years ago, I did try to do some research on the, what are the things going on behind the scenes for the turmeric. I could not find a lot of things. Now, oh my God, I just tons of research is done on the turmeric, and then it is as you said, the NIH. One of them is my kids say that I have ADHD, so they say that one of the turmeric can be very, very. Me and Steve are creative people, so we have a lot of ADHD problems. That's why we need a person like Cristina to help us.
Well, let us send you a box. We're going to send you a case. We'll send you a case of 100.
So they can order through your website, right? Turmeric Innovations.
Yes. Turmeric Innovations.
So this is amazing in my view. I think India is one of the Steve. These are the packages. Yeah.
These are packed. This one is for diabetes. It has Gymnema sylvestri. This one is for pain management. We actually have some people that were previously walking on crutches.
But you can see that is a mirror. Actually, that's because of mirroring. You cannot read it, but So
So the products are blood sugar bully, going to bully the blood sugar. So blood sugar bully.
Yeah.
And then
pain aways, memory rockets.
Helps alleviate pain. Turaflex. Now, in addition to the diabetes and the Hashimoto's, I actually injured myself a couple of weeks ago where I pulled something. The pain was excruciating. They gave me 4 Tylenols in the hospital. I got an ibuprofen. Nothing. Didn't even touch the pain. I took this because this has turmeric and boswellia. And boswellia is highly anti-inflammatory, and so is the turmeric. I couldn't even lift my arm. But because of that,
it actually cured her. She went to the emergency room, ER room in Rhode Island. We were on vacation. But the important thing is that another action of...
just I'll tell you in a minute about that. Keep talking.
Another pathway for turmeric is the COX-2 inhibitor. COX-2 inhibitors, currently the prescription drugs are Celebrex, those kind of medicines that... Celebrex is the big one. They inhibit the enzyme that causes inflammation, and it takes on pain, whether you have back pain, knee pain, joint pain. So COX-2 inhibitors are widely used by people that have chronic pain, chronic musculoskeletal pain. And but they have side effects. They weaken the heart. There are all kinds of effects. So turmeric is also a COX-2 inhibitor. And if you get enough concentration, like we're able to do, people are getting the same kind of benefit with the turmeric that they get from pharmaceutical drugs. Exactly the same benefit, and maybe even more, without any side effects. And so again, we cannot make any kind of claims here, but turmeric has been studied by the NIH, and it's the NIH that says, the National Institute of Health says that it is a COX-2 inhibitor. And the other thing with COX-2 inhibitors is they also destroy cancer.
Yeah.
So COX-2 inhibitors have two benefits. A lot of patients who have cancer are also given things, COX-2 inhibitors like Celebrex, to slow down the progression. So
We're not making any claims, but it is what the NIH is talking about, and they're showing the research, right? Yeah.
It's on their website.
It's there. The
but-
research is
but-
there.
One research definitely, arthritis is a very powerful drug for the arthritis and ADHD. It reduces the progression of Alzheimer's. It says that all those things. So I think Christina and the Steve, you are a very innovator. You bring these new things to the table. I think I'm always fascinated. Your father and mother is still alive. They are doing very well. I visited your family. I've been there. How they are doing? How is your family doing?
Well, my dad is almost 97, and he's got every ailment known to man. He's had open heart surgery. He's had stents. He's had severe arthritis, diabetes, glaucoma, cataract surgeries. You name it. He almost died in an accident when he was 17. So he's been through everything. He's almost 97, and he's off most medicines. The only medicine he actually takes is our product. I basically give him the blood sugar bully, and I give him the Turmeric. He takes 4 a day. And he has prostate cancer. His most recent reading was that the cancer has shrunk. And the doctor couldn't understand why his prostate cancer is actually in remission. It had already metastasized into the lungs. And 6 months back, or 8 months back, when they gave the diagnosis, I said, we were so sure he's only has 6 months to live. So I said, look, go to 6 doses a day now. Go step it up. Previously, he was taking 1 or 2 a day. He doesn't really believe it. He thinks, it's a natural supplement. It's FDA doesn't regulate natural supplements. So he was jokingly telling the doctors that, my son gives me a lozenge, but it's not FDA approved. And FDA doesn't regulate supplements. So I made him up his dose to 6 a day. And this is the honest truth, God's honest truth. His most recent MRI of the lungs shows that the tumors have shrunk to 1/4 the size, and his prostate cancer has reduced, because they can feel the bumps in the prostate when they test it. There's much less. So his cancers have both gone to remission. He's taking 6 lozenges a day. Now, you have to take them lozenges correctly. If you chew it, you won't get the benefit. You have to leave it in your mouth for 10 to 20 minutes and let it slowly dissolve so that you
sublingual thing, right?
So he's now taking 6 a day. And I think the way he's going, I think he's going to make it to 100.
Oh, absolutely.
Easily. Maybe even 100, 3, 104.
And we'll give him a turmeric cake, because this stuff is really, it does an amazing job.
But I'm going to tell you some good news that, I'm going to tell you some good news about it. That's my son. You met Steve in Dr. Japra's house. You remember that we met?
Yes.
He got engaged yesterday. He was giving they both are engaged. She is from she's a Punjabi girl. They're engaged yesterday, and they're very happy. Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations. It's very nice.
So, there's a good news about that. Because you're family friends, I'm sharing with you the public, rest of the public. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. You're a treasure, excellent friends for me for a long time.
Thank you.
Christina, you're like a family, more than a family. You are a supporter of MedBix to me. Steve is a close friend of mine. We hang around all the time together.
Yeah.
And when he comes to California, I go there. He comes here. We are all friends. Thank you so much for joining. It's a really excellent education. Yeah, good night, all of you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for
My
watching.
son Ramesh and his girlfriend Nisha.
And congratulations to them.
Thank you.
Wonderful
Thank
couple.
you. Thank you, Ramana. All the best to you, and
Yeah,
congratulations.
And we feel the same way about you, Ramana. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you
care.
so much.
Okay.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine. through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it